Hello everybody, welcome back to the GT3 event ran in conjunction with Mature Racing Club, NxtGen Racing, SimFX and P1. So it's a team versus team style event. We're in the ProAm lobby today, so if you've clicked on this in anticipation of seeing the pros, they're live streamed on Dark Smoker's channel. Of course that is swear free and full of kablamos and kablims and booms and all that lovely stuff. Sponsor of this event, of course, the main title sponsor is David Appleby Engineering. You'll see his logo slapped all over the car. Excite Energy Drinks also sponsor this, so you'll see their logos all over the car. CJW-Racing, who makes sim racing equipment, they are also plastered everywhere and sponsor this. And Thrustmaster are a sponsor of NxtGen Racing as well, so they're flindered around on the car somewhere, you'll see. In terms of what you're in for, we're in for an hour sprint race. I'm not going to sit here and talk for an hour. I ain't got time for that. I don't think you have either. We will just sort of flick through the field and the race and pick up the key elements, and I'll try and keep context to the story and stuff as well and do the best I can. This of course includes strategy, so we've got tyre and fuel wear on for this one and damage. With it being an endurance race, it's worth double points as well, so finishing position is quite a key thing. So we'll talk through strategy. I had a strategy going into the race which was basically pit every 9 laps. We sort of worked out that a full race distance was like 36 laps, which is 9 times 4, and I could free stop it and keep some good pacing. So yeah, I didn't really want to stretch the tyres too much. The BMW ain't very good on tyres and fuel, or it probably is, but I'm not that good at saving it. So we'll crack on with it then and see what goes down. So in terms of quali, it's Buddy to Jambu on the front row, Cutler and then me. The BMW had no right being on the second row of the grid here. It was it was a good lap, to be fair. I was really pushing to get anywhere near that time in practice and blowing my own trumpet here a little bit, but actually did quite a good job in quali, so I was really happy with that. Joanna and Purcell line up behind me, Robinson and Viali, and then Sean F at the back. So let's get into it and see what Fuji brings. Let's turn that down a little bit. So ignore the green lights, I don't mean squat for some reason. Just wait for the cars to roar off. As they do, Purcell gets away well, so does Jambu actually. He looks to, he's got the inside line already coming into turn 1, which is, you might as well get second position, as you just see me nudge Cutler a little bit. Cutler does a really good job of recovering that. I wait up for him. He's just seen me come off the throttle a few times there. I did think he was ahead at this point, and then I looked at my radar and he was right next to me, so I backed off and let him through here. Then we just went a bit side by side going into the corner, but Purcell did a good job to back out of that as well. So it is a me versus Cutler battle once more. So let's see how this pans out. Everyone's filtering in behind quite nicely. Joanna, Purcell, Viali, Sean F. Sean F's already got some engine damage by the looks of things. Jambu's escaped into the lead, followed by Buddy. Robinson's not far behind, so he'll be able to challenge for a second position potentially. And I've got a Cutler all over my backside. So as you see, Cutler had the opportunity to go for moves, but he backed out of them. Probably wise decisions, to be fair, because they would have ended in contact, and he's not as stupid as I am. As you see, everyone just filter away. Let's go back to the cinematic replays. So my weakness was straight line speed. The GTRs were absolutely phenomenal in a straight line, so I was more than happy sitting behind Robinson, knowing that he'd have superior straight line speed, and he did. He was basically just pulling me along for this entire time. I mean, my Robinson's getting the slipstream with the Aston Martin, which is an equally good car. You see me go really deep into that corner. I save it then. Again, that's just because I haven't adapted my braking to the slipstream, so I was going about 5 miles an hour faster than I normally would have been there. Cutler again in a really close position behind, but not quite close enough to make a move. Fuji's sort of characterised by if the guy in front of you is getting slipstream, it's really hard to make a move into T1 because you're all getting the benefit of the tow. And the only other big braking zone you find is coming down here, and sometimes there's just not enough of a slipstream coming down into it, so you really have to send it. I did a GT4 race here yesterday as I record this, and yeah, I did a move there and it was just a lick the stamp and send it sort of thing. So the battle at the minute is the battle for third, involving Robinson, me, Cutler, and Joanna's not far away. He's catching, he's got a little bit of a penalty, but you don't serve that in a particular order. Purcell's not far back either, so the man under pressure at the minute is Robinson. He's going to be feeling the pinch because if you'll notice he's got a little bit of damage that he's carrying. Don't know what happened there, to be fair, must have missed that. He might have had a bit of contact that one, must have done. But he's importantly now not getting slipstream from Buddy. So he's basically punching a hole in the air for everyone right now, is Robinson. As I am up his insides, but yeah, I do poke my nose out, but I don't remember going for this move. Yeah, so you'll notice I back out of that one. I just sort of let Robinson take his line. I don't really feel it necessary to take that. As Robinson just gets it a little bit wide on the exit again, give him the space, and away he goes. He hasn't really lost anyone any time. That has to be fair. You get two wheels on that turf on the outside, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. You're going round basically. I just give him a little bit of a nudge there because of his suspension damage. He has to brake midway through that corner, and it caught me off guard. He just gets it sideways again. Again, I'm all over him. At this point, I'm thinking I've got to really get past him now. For one reason or another, he's slowing down. I did think it was mainly strategy. So again, I had the opportunity to send it there, but it would have been a massive send, so I back out of it. But you'll see now the fight for third is 4 cars deep, so there's Robinson, there's me, there's Cutler, and there's Joanna, all involved in this battle. Robinson is carrying quite a significant amount of damage, so am I as well. I'm carrying front aero damage, so I'm getting understeer like mad, and I'm only 3 laps into a 9-lap stint. No point pitting early just for front aero. You can kind of live with that. So at this point I'm thinking, right, I need the overspeed on him now. He's not going to be getting slipstream, so the chance that I can slingshot around him into turn 1 is quite high. He doesn't really defend it. So whether he was inviting this move or not, I'm not too sure. But he doesn't defend it in the meanwhile as well. You see Joanna pulls out on Cutler. See that Joanna looks to nudge Robinson a little bit. Robinson's therefore going to run a little bit wide and just get 2 wheels on that turf we were called about, and he's off. Unfortunately, that's caused him even more damage, and so he's now really going to pit for that. Purcell's also carrying quite a lot of damage as well. Joanna's now all over the back end of Cutler. Because of Robinson's issues, I've got a little bit of a gap now, so I'm now free to go. Viali up into 7th. Closing in on Purcell up ahead. Robinson, after all that contact, is down in 8th, with Sean F having had to pit for for engine damage. He's at the back but in clean air, so he can just start punching in the times we've just seen him set personal best sectors. The battle for the lead though is still relatively close, so Jambu is managing to just runs it a little bit wide there. Jambu is managing to keep it to Buddy. Buddy is the man in the form at the minute. This guy's racing really well, and he's pretty much picking up every win and every sort of possible position that he comes into contention for. You can see the gap between me and Cutler there, so I'm not really going to be giving him any slipstream at this point. Joanna's going to be getting the toe off him though. Meanwhile, Purcell and Viali are giving each other a bit of a pull down the straight as well, and I meant that in a non-dirty way. Cutler goes defensive. Joanna with the overspeed's probably going to get the move done before the corner even happens though. Is Cutler going to try and brake late? No, he doesn't. He just basically backs out and lets Joanna take that. As we see Viali get the move done on Purcell as well into the same corner, so nice moves by them. Viali's another man who's racing really well in this league so far. We'll catch up with him later on. Meanwhile, cutting to the front, Buddy versus Jambu. So again, two quite evenly matched drivers in evenly matched cars. It would take one of them making a mistake, I guess, to really make this happen, and neither of them really make mistakes, if at all. So Buddy is on him based on the slipstream. But like, he's just never quite close enough to launch one up the inside. And Jambu does a really good job of just keeping him at bay. He's had to keep him at bay for 5 laps now, but he was on pole, so we know, you know, his hot lap pace definitely is. It just gets a little bit wrong. Yeah, in pure hot lap pace, Buddy is the fastest man here. I'm into 3rd, so that was where I qualified. Well, no, I qualified in 4th. Yes, I did. Oh no, I didn't. Anyway, go back and check. I'm not too sure. One or the other. I think it was 3rd actually. But you can see the massive gap I've got to Buddy and Jambu up ahead. They're just gone. So 3rd's the best I can possibly hope for, I guess, in this race, unless one of those two mess up or my strategy really comes into play. Cutler has got a decent sort of gap each side of him, so I guess he's just running his race now. Viali has, I was just going to say Viali has Purcell for company, but Purcell just sent it really deep, and Joyner's having to pit to repair his damage. Robinson, after pitting to repair his damage, is back in a race now, and Sean F following him behind. So now that we're 6 laps in, we'll cut to the action in just a minute and just see what's going on up ahead. We're about to see some pit stops, I guess, once some of the free stoppers start to come in, probably around lap 8 or 9 for the strategic pit stops, so we'll check in on that when something happens in the race. As we approach pit stop phase then, you'll see Cutler is really starting to gain on me. I just had a scruffy lap or 2. Cutler's right on my chuff now. He's in a Merc, which is better in the straight line. You'll also see he's saved a really good amount of fuel, so he's just over half a tank and I'm just under it, and my tyres are shot. Because of my aero, my front aero, I'm understeering a lot more. 140.6 for me, 139.8 for Cutler, as he pops his car down the inside and gets me under braking. I don't fight that one. There isn't really any point. He does send it a little bit deep though, which is going to enable me to run back and I effectively get the cut back on him. So business as usual there, me and Cutler having a good old scrap. We like having a scrap to me and Cutler, it just seems to be our thing. So this is my in lap now. I'm aiming to pit once we come round. Now the plan is fix the damage so I don't scrub my tyres as much. Fuel for a 9 lap stint. And whack some more softs on it. Because it's an endurance race, there is no requirement to run 2 different compounds. We were allowed to run, if you wanted to run mediums and go really long, you could. If you wanted to run softs and do shorter stints, you could. As you just see this, in fact, let's analyse this. Because I remember this being brought up in the group chat. So we'll go on board with Cutler. So remembering at this point that my tyres are absolutely bombed out, we get to the infield section and you see I'm sideways here. So Cutler's got 2 options. He can back off, he can put his car around the outside, bearing in mind that that's the natural racing line, or he can go down the inside, which he wouldn't do at this point. There's no reason for him to go down the inside, I guess, because, well, I'm out of control. He naturally goes around the outside, and in recovering from my spin, I do sort of nudge him again here, so we'll just flick this back and we'll watch it from his hood cam. So I get on the loud pedal just a little bit too soon. You'll see from me there's sod all intent in that. Again, we'll just rewind and look from my point of view. So you felt the contact there. I honestly didn't feel like I was at fault for that, but I'll let you, the audience, be the judge. either way, it hasn't really lost either of us that much time, so we're good to race, I guess. So, Buddy pits. So his Aston Martin racing team get to work on his car. I'm also going to fly into the pits now as well. Cutler's going to stay out, and he will assume that second position. As I ignore all pit speed lane limits, it's just absolutely launch into the pits. And a few of the other guys stay out. So mixed pit strategy then for everyone as Buddy emerges from the pits. So it looks like he's done the same as me. So he's 9-lap fueled racing softs. Cutler's still got half a tank left, and his tyres are in really good nick. Actually, did a really good job of looking after these. Viali similar, so a little less fuel, but doing a decent job on his tyres. Joanna, I think he's pitted. I'm pretty sure Joanna's pitted at some point, and he's gone on the mediums. I'm fueled for 9 laps, and I'm good to go. Let's see how this develops over the coming laps. So our race leader's in. Fresh tyres, fresh set of boots, new fuel, and unfortunately on cold tyres he just gets it on the Astro, and that is just going to send him round. Fortunately he keeps it out of the wall, which means all he's going to do is scrub his tyres a little bit, but that's going to lose him an absolute ton of time. Buddy's in the lead of the race now, and Jambu's come out behind Viali, who hasn't yet pitted, so in theory Viali should be out of his way by the time he catches up to him, because he'll be pitting. Meanwhile, me and Joanna are embroiled in a little bit of a battle. The penalty, you see, I picked up a couple of laps earlier for the most mediocre track cut you've ever seen in your entire life. So I try and get the move done on the outsides. Joanna struggles for traction, and that's me up into 5th. So a good move, if I do say so myself. That's me up into 5th. I'm technically chasing down Jambu, but this isn't for a race position, it's just the car I'm following. Jambu is in theory going to be much higher up the grid as things develop. Let's take you for a lap of Fuji, shall we? So a huge long straight is essentially what sets you up for this. So 139.3. Yeah, so look for the 150 board brake just after it, between that and the 100s. Really sharp turning. I was able to throw the BMW into that. It wasn't really affecting me. Run through the gears. Again, you look for the 100 boards and brake at 75 metres. That's just to set your point. You can get 2 wheels on that curve on the inside. That's fine. Reference points here I looked for, there's like a little orange marker that sticks out there. I lift off when I get to that, and it tends to turn the car in quite well. Sort of similar, there are these little orange marker boards that stick out of the fence, and they're really good. They're really good reference points. The reference for the braking zone here is easy, it's the bridge. So you tend to be able to spot the shadow, brake pretty much bang on that. Run through the gears, down into 1st, miss the apex unfortunately, and then I run it up into 1st, into 2nd, and then you can run all the way over this curb, straight to the outside, about 20% brake. You want to get 2 wheels on that curb like that, straighten up as soon as you can. The thing about Fuji, what you want to try and do is essentially square off as many of the corners as possible, because you want to be back on the power ASAP rocky. So as you see, minimising the turn in that basically hairpin last corner, and then you're on the power as soon as possible when you're back on the straight again. So that's 138.9, not a bad lap, without a slipstream anyway. Let's have a quick check as to where everyone is. So Viali's still in front of me. Jambu's managed to get him. I think he just got him on that lap that we were covering. Cutler, having not pitted yet, is up into 2nds, but still lapping in the 140s. So that just shows the pace he's got naturally in the car, considering he's saving fuel. He's lapping really well. Buddy is now well away, and he's on the same sort of pit strategy as me, so he's a few laps away from a pit stop. Let's go back down to me, so I'm in 5th, still carrying a bit of that penalty. Joanna in 6th, not doing a bad job at all. Purzel for 7th, and Purzel's got a lot of front end damage, so he'll be killing them tyres. Robinson still in the fight in 8th, and Sean F. Looking at his times, he's running in the 140s, he's just making the odd mistake which is slowing him down, so he's actually got decent pace here, Sean. He's just making the odd mistake. So we've just passed the halfway point of the race now, and I've just done my 2nd stop. That has allowed Cutler to jump me. Cutler had stopped a lap or 2 before, and it looks like he's going to the end now, is it? Yeah, he's definitely going to the end, I think. He's going to try to, on his fuel saving strategy. He's running it really wide coming out of turn 3, that could be a penalty. So the order then is still Buddy, doing a fantastic job. He's just pitted as well, so he's come out clean, in clean air. Jambu is a good few seconds behind him, and Jambu needs to pit again as well, looking at his fuel, so he's probably going to be coming in this lap. We've just seen Cutler pit, I'm chasing him down. I'm now on fresh rubber, Cutler is as well of course, but he's going to be fuel saving. I'm not bothered about any of that malarkey. I do have to pit again, so my chances of a podium on this one are actually quite slim, but I was happy with, you know, as long as I wasn't last, I was actually quite happy with this one. Going into this, I was actually leading the championship, but I probably knew that wouldn't be the case with 2 Enduros coming up. I'm not great in the endurance races as it is. Viali's doing a good job in 5th, he's pitted as well. Then the back 3 or 4 are just sort of the same, Joanna, Purzel and Sean. We've lost Robinson. Robinson wasn't able to continue. So Jambo comes in for his pit stop. Is he going to come out clean of Cutler? He is. He's going to come out plenty clean. So the story from this point then, I guess, is my chase down on Cutler. I'm going to have to pit again, and that would cost me about 10-15 seconds in race time. So the person I'm probably actually fighting on track is this man. Knowing that overleaping Cutler, he was just able to save fuel better, he was able to look after his tyres better and keep good pace at the same time. I didn't have that talent, so yeah, I had to make an extra stop essentially, which I not necessarily saying I didn't want to do that, but it didn't play in my hands this race. Lap 29. Let's do a little bit of a review where everyone is. In the meantime, while you cut from the last part you're watching, nothing's really happened. There was me catching Cutler in my sort of 2nd stint, but like I sort of commentated on before, he was just able to look after things a lot better, so I just cooked my tyres in the end. We're watching Buddy at the minute, our race leader, absolutely drifting that Aston all the way through. He just pitted, same as me, so might be dealing with cold tyres, I'm not too sure. But he's doing a really good job, as he always does. You can sort of always predict that Buddy will do a good job whatever circumstance you place him in. Same with this man really, Jambu. Has been a bit scruffy at times. Fuji's a very difficult track to drive, and that's a very difficult car to drive. Jambu's one of the best drivers in the league by a mile, I think, as well, so yeah, again, doing a good job. Has just pitted as well, so he's on fresh rubber going to the end. Cutler now is, we think going to the end. He's on his outlap, so yeah, he's just pitted, so he is ultra conservative on his fuel. I don't know how he's doing it, because if you look at the fuel he's got and that I've got, and I was worried about making it to the end, I had over half a tank, he's nearly on a quarter. So Cutler, if you're watching, mate, I need your fuel saving tactics. In fact, no, I tell a lie, I watched your stream, I know what you're doing, but I just haven't got the patience for that. But it worked out for you. It worked out for you. Joanna up into 5th. Well, I say up into 5th, he just pits, so Viali might well nip him. In fact, he will. So Viali's going to nip him there in the pit stops. So Joanna's team getting to work on his car. Purzel in 7th will potentially jump Joanna in the pits as well. And then Sean F is at the back, but again, looking at his lap times, definitely respectable lap times that he's doing. and certainly nothing to be ashamed of. So let's capture back on this and just see. Coming on board with me, I guess I'm looking at my gap to Cutler, which at this point, when I come out from my pit stops, my gap was just over 12 seconds. I definitely have fuel to push. I know he'll be saving. I didn't know what tyre he was on, but I did assume the softs at this point. So we'll see how that develops, and of course everything else. So come back to Buddy then. This is where his night unfolded a little bit. 2 wheels on the AstroTurf, and unfortunately it digs it into the wall. It does pick up damage here, suspension damage as well, so that is going to slow him down. Rear right, so fortunately not the one that gets loaded on all the time. If it was rear left it would be race ending, but rear right you can kind of live with to a degree, but it is going to slow him down through a lot of the corners. Chunks his gap to Jambu to minuscule amounts. Jambu's now only seconds behind him with just over 10 minutes of the race remaining, so Jambu's probably just seeing the gap absolutely drop. Probably can see Buddy, yeah, you can see him just going around that corner now. So we'll visually have a reference to the man that's in front of him. You can see Buddy just going around the hairpin now. Yeah, so Jambu will be in chase mode. Buddy is going to get slowed down because of that contact. Cutler in third. I've started to reduce the gap. I think at this point, from memory, it was probably about 7 seconds now, so I'm chunking time out of him, but the gap is, to be fair, it's probably just too big. He's not a slow guy, he's Cutler, so I knew that with 10 minutes remaining, it's a monumental task to gather too much time on him. Viali in fifth. Quite a gap to me, to be fair, so I wasn't really too worried. As long as I kept it on track, I knew I'd probably be okay. Perzel in sixth position, has got Joanna not far behind him, so he's got to be careful. And Sean F, again, like we said before, doing a good job in eighth position. Still good points for eighth though, so not to be smirked at. So as we close this one out, let's just cut towards the latter part of the race. Just about to hit the 5 minutes remaining mark, and Jambu has really caught up to Buddy now, so he's right on his tail. He'll be getting the slipstream. Buddy's got a little bit of a penalty, which as we round this corner, he pulls over to the right hand side and serves it. You don't have to do that, but I think Buddy did this sort of tactfully to try and get the slipstream back off Jambu. So again, we'll see if that works out. It might do. The battle between me and Cutler, it's not really a battle really, there's a decent enough gap between us both. As you see me come out the final corner, you can see him there. I've got a visual reference, but there's not enough time left, if I'm being brutally honest. Back further on the grid, Viali in fifth, Perzel and Joanna not too far away from each other at all. With Sean F still in 8th position. So Jambu's now leading the charge. I can imagine Buddy's smashing the inside of that Aston Martin up in frustration. He was absolutely dominating this race, start to finish really, or start to lap 33. And it was a bit of a shame, I will be honest. We're on what is the final lap. The timer is 25 seconds away from elapsing, and it will elapse by the time Jambu makes his way around to the start-finish straight. Buddy is in hot pursuit, but not close enough to make a move. I have closed in on Cutler, as you can tell, but I think the gap at this point was like 3 or 4 seconds. But yeah, I'm not overdriving the car to get him. I'm actually quite happy with the 4th spot. So yeah, everyone's on their final lap now as we just watch Jambu around the final corner to take a win at Fuji in the GT3 League, sponsored by David Appleby Engineering. GT Amiga, Thrustmaster and Excite energy drinks. So Jambu comes across. Good win for Jambu. Buddy's going to be disappointed with that one, no doubt. A great strategic drive from Cutler, who has managed to stretch out that fuel and eke it out in that what must be sort of like Toyota Prius inspired Mercedes. So a good podium for Cutler, really showing his form in this league at the minute. I am in 4th, not too displeased with that result. Viali, good job in 5th. I don't think he was a fan of this track. He did say a couple of times he didn't really like it. But to bring home a 5th with the calibre of drivers we've actually got in this league is not a bad thing at all. Purcell's in 6th. Is Joanna going for a late move? He is. We've just caught that on tape. Joanna goes for a great last minute move on Purcell. Is Purcell going to get the switch back on him? It's going to go right to the wire. As you just see a drag race for 6th position basically. Is Purcell going to get it? Tucks back into the slipstream. Probably should have done that a bit earlier. Very close finish. So a nice last lap sprint to the finish there for that one. So that's the first Enduro break. The GT3s now break up for a week's holiday, so we will be back with these cars for we're going to be back on the 23rd of October, and it's going to be another Enduro race at the Nürburgring, the 24-hour version, so the big daddy. A track that I'm not necessarily saying I enjoy. I don't hate it either, but I don't enjoy it. It's well, anyone who's driven the Nürburgring will tell you that it's a fantastic time trial track, but my god, it's a difficult one all the same. So the championship standings after that round then, Jambu takes the lead. So Jambu now 175 points. I'm 7 points behind him on 168. Buddy with his great run of form at the minute is on 156 points, so he's closing me down as well. Behind Buddy is Viali, who's Mr. Consistent at the minute and doing a really good job. He's in 4th position on 141 points. Behind him, Robinson, Cutler. Cutler who's starting to climb the table now. Joanna Danglyball, who's been missing this week, but he's going to be back for Nürburgring. Purcell and Sean in the top 10. So yeah, that is it. That's round 6, I think it was, of the GT3 League, sponsored by David Appleby Engineering, with support from Excite, Thrustmaster and GT Amiga. Of course, I will say it again, you can check out pro coverage on Dark Smoker's channel. There'll be a link in the description below to that. And if you want to get involved in any of this stuff, there'll be links to all the sim racing groups below as well. Go and check them out if you like clean driving, because that's what we promote. Please come and check us out and get involved in some of the races and stuff. So that's it. There won't be a GT3 video next week because there is no GT3 race next week. We're on a season break, so I might try and do something else instead. In the meantime, we'll be back with a special team versus team event in the minis live streamed on Monday. So it's NxtGen Racing versus P1, and they're going to be doing a race in the minis and then a race in the Mazda touring cars. So again, there'll be a pro and a ProAm lobby on that one, and it'll be me and Dark Smoker streaming those. So again, check out coverage of that as and when it arrives later on. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.